Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Confident Hypnotherapist. This week, I have the incredible Sara Herring joining me today. Sara, thank you so much for your time today.
Lovely to be here.
Now,
Excited.
now I should let people in on a little bit of a story here as to why I particularly asked Sara to be in on this. We both went through a training recently with the fantastic Rowan Gazard. Next level hypnosis. It was all about stage hypnosis, rapid inductions, and everything. And at one point during the training, he had all of us line up in seats, and then almost like a sushi train of hypnosis.
Love it, love it.
We kind of went one person to the next, and I got to Sara, and Sara is infamous for being able to go into hypnosis like that. And for some reason, I just couldn't do it. And one of the things that Sara was saying to me during that was, your intention is not there. Focus on the intention. And I thought there's something really powerful here in this feedback, something really worth exploring and sharing. And given that Sara's the head of the Academy of Hypnotic Science and trains people day in, day out, what better guest to have on this show to talk about the topic of intention and to explore a little bit further. So thank you so much. I guess the obvious question is, starting very big picture here. Why start with a small question is what I say. Let's go for big. What is intention? What is it when we step back and look at it?
I look at it as intention is your thoughts, what you're intending to say. What are you thinking to create what you want? So if we can look at the bigger picture, that is that manifestation.
Mm,
What are you thinking? Is your thoughts create your reality?
mm,
So when you're talking about when you're in the sushi train line, I love the analogy, love the metaphor. It's like if you're not thinking the right way in your mind, things are not going to work out.
I love that. Yeah. We quite often hear hypnotherapists when they're training say that you have to act as if you're the hypnotherapist,
Yep, yep,
not to allow any doubt to
yep.
be there. And I think this is kind of coming back to that in some ways.
Well, the doubt stops you,
Mm,
and I've been training for a long, 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 long time now, and what I see a lot of is therapists especially when they're practicing in the first few times, is they'll put someone in trance, they'll do a fabulous session. As the person's coming out of trance, they'll say in a loud voice, "Oh, that was really crap."
oh, no, that's not good.
No, so it's
Suggest-
like in their minds they've just done a really bad job, but their practice client that's come out has gone, "Oh my God, that was incredible," but
Mm,
they've just negated um, what they've just done by saying that.
mm.
So that's when I jump on them and I say, no matter what you're thinking, because your client is seeing something completely different to you. So it's in your mind what you did was the best job that you could possibly do. And I still hear it and I still pull people back up on it, but it's like what's in your mind. So when you go back to the sushi train, and if we could dissect your mind at that moment, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts at that point in time were, um, oh my God, I'm up to Sara.
Yeah,
What if I do this and I don't get her into hypnosis? I'm going to look terrible.
yep. So that's what your thoughts.
Yeah.
So can you see now why it didn't possibly work?
I was too much in my head. I was too, because of course, this is the self-fulfilling prophecy, though, isn't it?
Yes.
That
Yep.
once you have an experience of it not going the way you want, and the spotlight is then shone on it not going the way you want,
Yep.
it becomes so much harder because you start to go, oh no, the pressure is really on now to deliver.
Yep.
And it's so easy then for people to get in their head.
Yep.
I completely see how that works.
Yeah, so it's what's your thoughts, and it's like so if I'm working with someone, I've got a set thought pattern in my head
Mm.
of what's going to happen, and it happens because that's what I'm thinking.
So, out of curiosity, do you have a particular, you say about a set thought in your head, and of course, that's probably going to be custom made to whoever is in front of
Yes, of
you.
course.
But is there any elements of that that you find are repeated or frequent or a commonality that exists?
Yep. So what I tend to say in my head is, "You're safe."
Hmm.
You're safe. I'm here with you. And I'll repeat it over and over again in my mind. You're safe. I'm here with you. You're going to have a change or a shift, depending on who I'm working with, and you're going to go into trance. So immediately I'm saying that. What are you thinking? What are you feeling when I say that?
Yeah, well, for me, I'm more concerned about am I safe, maybe.
Okay. Well, that's what. My intention is you are safe. You're in a
Yep.
safe place, no matter what happens here. Whatever comes up. I do very deep work when I work. So it's like you're safe. I'm giving you permission just to let go and let whatever come up, so we can work with it.
Yeah.
I'm here with you, so you know that I'm here with you. I'm looking at you, looking in your eyes. I'm here. You're safe. You're going to go into trance. You're going to have a shift.
I find in a lot of trainings that I've been in, when they first initially start talking about going up to someone and helping them to go into hypnosis, there's, as I said before, there's things like act as if you're a hypnotherapist. And
Mm.
don't let any doubt be shown. You have to learn to push doubt aside, which is an interesting statement in itself to say. And that's one of Freddie Jacqueline's there. Given your experience in training, how do you teach people to build that intention? What is it that you say to them to help them to build that intention of knowing that they can be really good hypnotherapists?
Okay, so I start off with teaching them how to do rapport,
Mhm.
how to work with rapport, because I think the secret to any session, especially a successful hypnotherapy session, is rapport. It underpins it all. So you've got intention, you've got rapport, you've got your confidence, and you've got your courage. That's what you need. Everything else just falls into place.
Yep.
So it's showing. I do lots of different exercises to help people gain that rapport with someone else. Because once you've got that rapport, but you also have the intention in your thoughts in your mind, and if there is any doubt in there, that's what thing's going to stop. But one of the exercises I do, and I always do it on day one now, is I get them to stare into each other's eyes, to look into their eyes, and it's like get the giggling over and done with. Get the laughter, it's going to when you're looking at someone and you're blinking or they're blinking or you're smiling, they're smiling. It is awkward.
Mm.
And a lot of people are not used to sitting with someone in silence and sitting at someone and just looking at them and looking in their eyes.
Mm.
And once you've got over that, and then you've got the intention going, and as they're doing it, I'm sort of saying, this is what you're thinking, this is what you're going on. And then you can see it's almost like everybody just shifts and they then can sit with someone. And then I get them to sit in silence, absolute total silence with someone for at least 10 minutes. Just sit there and have that intention, I am here for you. And then we swap over.
I'm having a flashback, literally almost 12 months to the day, back to HypnoBiz Australia.
Yes, that was this weekend last year,
This
wasn't it?
weekend last year at time of recording. And at the dinner that night, I remember that there was that exercise where we had to walk around the room
Yeah,
and to make eye contact with people and not say anything. I think the even instruction was not to show anything, just to make that eye contact.
yeah,
And it was an interesting experience because I did that exercise and I found my own state shifting as I met each person. So there were some people that were earnest in their desire to do that activity, and I greeted that with that same earnesty. But then there are also those that were kind of had that smirk on their face, as if to say, "Is this kind of real?"
yeah.
And I found that sometimes I smirked back as well. But I'm beginning to recognize that that was the rapport of the situation. Had that
Yeah,
shifting.
you are going into rapport, but also you'll be picking up on their thoughts.
Mm,
Again, it's that intention. What are they thinking?
mm.
So it doesn't. You don't have to really have any facial expressions. You can pick up on other people's energy just by their thoughts.
That is fascinating because when you're saying that, it almost lends it down to the word I want to use is spiritual.
Yes.
I don't know if that's necessarily what it is or not, but I kind of get a sense that it is about picking up on that energy and being able to tap into that. I guess if someone's like me who's overly analytical, the understanding of that energy would
Yes.
be
Yeah. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
challenging.
Yeah.
It's only something in the past 12 months that I've become aware of and begin to recognize. Do you find that when you're training people that there are certain people who are capable of tapping into that ability with intention easier than others? Is it the overly analytical ones are the ones that kind of sit there trying to process it
Yes.
all?
The process. What am I thinking? What should I be thinking? And it's just like, well, just let go. Just be. And that's what I tell a lot of clients to do as well. Just be. And a lot of them, if they're analytical like you, be going, well, how do I do that? How
Yes.
do I just be? What am I thinking? What am I doing? And
That's
that's
exactly it. I'm sitting there going, well, how do I learn to just be? Tell me how to just be.
it's being it's tapping into mindfulness.
Mm,
Just being in the moment and just being here.
mm,
Um, but going back to that exercise, you would have picked up on people that were smirking. Yes, you're probably gaining rapport, but then you were probably thinking, well, okay, this is what they're thinking as well as you're
yeah.
going through. Okay, looking and looking. And when you're looking and gazing, in mesmerism, they talk about gazing, and that's how you learn. That's the first step of mesmerism, is gazing at yourself in a mirror.
Wow. Okay.
Your eyes with your eyes open, because you're activating the rods in your eyes,
Mhm.
and that then opens up doorways. So
That's
it's all
fascinating.
it is fascinating when you start looking at it. Yes.
It is, because all the things that, the when I was thinking about this topic today, uh, I was thinking, well, intention to me is something that's a felt sense. It's not something that you consciously analytically do. It's something that is an experience you feel instead.
It
And
is an experience, but it's also, come back to the analytical mind. You can, because you can say to yourself, this is what I'm saying to myself.
mm,
So if you're saying that now to yourself, you're saying, okay, I can do this. As you're going through, I can do this. I can talk in a podcast. But if I'm, yeah, oh, okay. So if I was sitting here now, um, and in my mind I'm going, I can't do this. I can't do this. I Can you see the difference? It's
yeah,
just like I'm going, oh God, what am
you're
I
going
doing?
down and getting. If we use, an ACT term, you're fusing with that thought
Yeah,
of,
and I'm going,
I
okay,
can't do
I
this.
can't do this. What am I doing? I'm on Zoom. Oh my God, everybody think I'm ridiculous. Everything's going to laugh at me. And then if I snap out of that and go, actually, I can do this. I'm talking to Lawrence. Hey, I know Lawrence a long time. I can do this. I'm an expert. I know my subject. There's a difference.
Yeah, it is an absolute difference,
So
isn't it?
you can do it. You can sort of, let's say, force it, because you can think that. And
Mm,
if you find yourself thinking that thought that I can't do it, you just switch it and bring in that I can.
mm. It's a very simple but powerful shift, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
And I say simple but powerful because in theory it's simple, and it is actually simple.
yeah. Just it's changing your thoughts.
It's yeah, exactly.
So intention, you can say, is changing your thoughts. And I don't know about you, but every time when I'm working with someone, I always want to know what they want to be, how they want to be. So the guru question, if they woke up tomorrow morning when everything was, 100%, how would it be? What would your life look like? And the amount of times I could probably guarantee that they'll say, I don't want.
Oh yeah, focus on the negative.
So they focus on the negative. So I call it switching.
Yep.
So you switch a switch. So I then speak to the client about, if that happens, I want you now to think of the positive. By the end of the session, they get it.
Mm,
It's like, you've given me the negative. So then I talk about, what you are thinking is what you're creating.
mm,
So if you're thinking, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be here, I don't want this happening anymore, the universe gets go spiritual. The universe is saying, hey, she's wanting that because she's thinking about that all the time. Let's do it. We're activating the RAS, let's do it.
the funny thing is, I always used to say the universe. The universe wants this and that. This was way before I discovered that there was a spiritual side to me, or that I say discover the spiritual side before I realized that spiritual side had always been there, even though I didn't
Yep.
recognize it. And it's kind of funny though, because I absolutely agree with you about this whole notion of universe delivering what it is that you're focusing on. I know there are certain periods in times where, like all of us clients, the client levels will dip up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And when they used to dip, I used to freak out. I used to think, what the hell is going on? Nowadays, I've recognized that it's generally because the universe is telling me you need to focus on something right now. You need to focus on this. And as soon as I start to do that,
Yeah.
it shifts again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
It's
you know,
what
it's like,
you
oh,
thought. Yeah.
okay, that was the blockage that the universe was
Yep.
trying to bring my
Yep.
attention to.
Yep.
That now that I've brought my focus to and started to resolve it, there's a flow that's
Yeah.
happening again.
Yeah. Yeah. So we create our own reality with our thoughts.
Yeah.
So being in a theta brainwave, so trance state is your theta brainwave, that creates your reality, and being in a theta brainwave accelerates your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's be careful what you think. So that's why I say we switch those thoughts straight away.
I always remind people that we don't experience reality, we experience our thinking of reality.
Yeah.
That's why they say perception is reality. Go under the hood of that saying, and that's exactly what it's telling you.
Yeah. Well, go back to, the first day of training when we talk about the RAS, the reticular activating system. So what are you doing with that is, let's say you wanted to, a new car, I don't know, a red Mazda 3. Suddenly, everywhere you go, you see those red Mazda 3s because you've activated that system.
Yep.
So it's the same with your thoughts.
Yep.
So what are you thinking? So what are you creating?
What you focus on is absolutely what you get.
Yes, yes, yes. And you work that out by, getting back into the flow of the clients coming back in.
Yeah. I also say to people, what you allow is also what you get. It's the same thing, but with a slightly different twist.
Yeah.
What about your own story with hypnotherapy? How did you come to discover hypnotherapy?
Wow, that's going back a long time, Lawrence. Many,
You're
many,
only
many.
21, Sarah.
Oh,
Let's
I
not
know, I
fool
know.
people here.
Oh, yes. Oh, it was just last year then. I It actually found me many, 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 many years ago. I was very sick. I was diagnosed with a condition called fibromyalgia. Sick on the couch for like 6 months at a time. Went to various people, doctors, nobody could help me. And then someone told me to heal from the inside out. That's the side of my journey. Because I thought, what is this? What is this healing from the inside out? So, back then, I know, only last year, I know, not much on the internet, went to libraries, read books, spoke to people, then started doing courses. The more I learnt, the better I got, and the better I got, the more I learnt. Let's put a double bind in. Got me to a point where I just went, this is so fascinating. I've helped myself with it, now I can help other people.
Did you find that you were, when you started, a natural at hypnotherapy, or were there particular challenges from limiting beliefs that you had of yourself that you had?
I had the doubt. I had that doubt going on. And it was just like, that the client thing, it was almost like, it's like the universe is sort of saying to me, yes, you need to go and do this, because it's like the phone would just ring. I had no advertising or anything, but people knew what I was doing. So I would have clients in my back room at home that was, it was like a storeroom. I'd put sheets over boxes and have a little chair in the corner, but it's like no one cared. It was like, no, we want to come and see you. So then I progressed to my lounge, and then I got a room in a centre somewhere. But yeah, it was just like that realization that I'm changing me from the inside.
Yeah.
So allowing that trance state to come in for me, working with those, but actually working with myself to allow that to happen, so I could feel better about me. And I thought, the belief system that was keeping it all in place was not what I thought it was. I thought I was getting sick to get attention, because that's the natural state, but it wasn't, because the sicker I got, the more the abusive partner I had went away. So he'd leave at 6 o'clock in the morning and get home at 10 o'clock at night. So it was like I was getting me back and getting me stronger to get out of that relationship and get me and my children away from that. And I did it. So
It's amazing. Again,
yeah,
it almost feels like the universe was presenting a challenge, but in some ways was trying to offer a solution at the same time.
yeah. And I just think if, how I went through it, yes, there was doubts in the beginning, but I think if I can do this, anybody can do it. And a lot of the exercises and a lot of the things I do, I say to the students, my goodness, I couldn't do this when I was doing it. Look at you guys. But then I've got that intention in my head that every student that comes through is going to be successful.
Mm.
That every student is going to be, pulling on their skills and their resources, that I'm helping them. So again, in my head, I'm here with you and I'm helping you because I want you out there. Me doing one-on-one, I don't want to do anymore. I want to do one-on-many, because that way there's thousands then out there helping thousands of people.
Yeah. And, I met a couple of your students at Rowan's trainings, and they were just simply glorious. They were so much the embodiment of, a great hypnotherapist, that they were a delight to be around.
Yeah.
What made you decide that you want to be a teacher?
Again, let's say the universe just sort of.
I think we should call this episode "Talks About the Universe."
It is,
because
because
it's coming back to that a lot.
Everything just fell into place. For some reason, I took my training assessment. The year after I took my training and assessment, I started working at the academy. It was 2015. I think that was probably about the year that I think I started there as you were finishing.
I was just finishing off then, yeah.
Yeah. So then I started there, and then 2018 I took over as the head. So it was just like one step, one step, one step, one step.
Mm.
So yes, the universe is just like going, yes, okay, go and do this, go and do that. Okay, I can do that. Yeah, but it's like, why do I have to go through that? Well, you had to go through that to learn, so then you could do this, and then you could do this, and then you could do this. Okay, I get it now.
And it does feel like you've enriched the syllabus with content that I don't think was necessarily there when I was studying originally. I really do love the fact that you're kind of bringing more of a focus on things like that intention. That, or maybe it was just, maybe I'm being unfair here. Maybe I was just blind to it. When
No, I brought it all in. When I came through the academy, because what I did is I formalised all my qualifications, not realising that that's why, because I was going to be teaching. So when I came through, I saw what was missing, and I saw that hands-on element was more needed, more the practical side, because that gives you your confidence, that gives you courage to go out there and work. And if you're practicing every time you're coming into class, and I throw real curveballs. I mean, this particular group I've got coming through at the moment, I'm just throwing them, saying, right, this is what we're doing, and throwing them straight in there to do the practice, because that's what I feel is needed.
I absolutely agree with you. I think one of the biggest problems that I experience with a lot of trainings nowadays is that it's great with the theory, it's great with the discussion, but there really needs to be more of that hands-on practice. You can read a book on how to swim, but unless you're in the water, you're likely to drown. And I feel that that's missing a lot from a lot of trainings out there.
But that's what I bring in, is that practical and hands-on side. And it's also, I think you need to be in the room with someone as well. Yes, I can show you how to do this on Zoom, but really I need you in the classroom, so then I can tweak it and help you then get your own experience and your own way of doing it. Because I can show you something here, but that's how I do it. I want you then to take it and think, okay, how am I going to make this mine?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to change some words. I'm going to change some actions.
I think that is such an important distinction. I've spoken about that in this podcast a few times, how some of the problem with training out there is that the trainers are fantastic, almost guru-like in some sense, but what ends up happening is that they start to create mini versions of them, as opposed to people stepping into who they uniquely are as a hypnotherapist.
I don't need mini me's.
God help the world if there are mini me's.
I want the students or whoever, training to, be themselves,
mm,
and use words and use their actions. And and what I say is, when you're putting someone in trance, is your intention.
mm.
Anything, you can do anything. You can take this technique, and make it your own, and it will work because you've got the confidence, and that's what you're saying in your mind. I can do this.
Yeah.
This person is going to go into trance.
I think that's the one big tip to take away from this, people, is that if they're not aware of what's going through their head in those moments, if
Mm.
they can just feel that doubt rising up in their
Yeah. What are
system,
you thinking? Yeah. What are you
stop for a
thinking?
moment, become the observer of thoughts.
Yeah. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
Mm.
Is there any doubt? The doubt, let's switch that doubt off. Let's put some, positivity in there.
Yeah. I think a good exercise for many people also would be to sit down and think, what is the mantra that they can say that will leave them feeling empowered
Yes.
and ready to be able to handle whatever situation gets them. Because again, that's going to be as unique as the thoughts are that bring them down.
Yeah.
Uh, Certainly, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook and you have a mantra that you use, put it in the comments, because I'd love to
Yeah.
see what people use out there. It'd be interesting to see what positive affirmations are there that drive people to be better hypnotherapists. With that in mind, if you were to go back in time, back to when you were first starting your career as a hypnotherapist, what advice would the now version of you give that beginning version of you?
Um, Trust in yourself. Practice, 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 practice. It's what's brought me to where I am today is practice.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and practice. I remember years ago talking to someone, and what he said was, he put an advert somewhere that said he was wanting people to put into trance, and he had like hundreds of people showing up each day, and that's all he did every day for I don't know how many weeks. Over the weekends, is put these people in trance, and that's how he got where he was.
Mm.
I didn't quite do that, but I thought, what a great idea.
For a little while there, I used to post occasionally on my Facebook wall saying, I think the question was, and it was a very provocative one, who here have I hypnotized? And of course, a lot of people come back saying, you haven't hypnotized me. And I'll go back and say, would you like to be
Yes,
hypnotized?
yes, yep, yep, yep,
And quite often I would have a few people come and see me just to experience what hypnosis was like.
yep,
And, that was really beneficial both for them and for me
yep,
at that point in time. So it's definitely a tip I give people nowadays is, social media is there to be utilized in some way.
yep. Go out there and practice. So what I would tell anybody that's starting out is, yes, set your intention, but get out there and practice.
Yeah.
Get out there and practice. And what I say to them in the classroom is, do your worst work in the classroom.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Get it out of the way. Practice
You're going
this.
to make a
Do this.
mistake, do it there and then.
Do it
And
there. Then
yeah,
you can talk about it. We can debrief about it. We can, help you, move forward. So I will be putting some upskilling courses on, and one of them is on inductions
mm.
in the near future as well. So
I did notice that you said recently you were looking at doing practice groups, and I think that's
yeah,
absolutely brilliant
yeah,
idea. I've run practice groups in the past as well, and I think that they are so beneficial to the community. Simply just because we are all always learning, aren't we?
yes,
I don't
yes.
think there's anyone out there that can claim that they can be absolutely perfect, and if they are, well, maybe that's that belief that gets the results each time.
That's maybe their intention. That's what
It is.
they're thinking. Yeah.
It's funny. I've said that, I did say to my supervisor once, I've noticed this contradiction that sometimes that there are people on Facebook and that who are very cocky about their ability. And I said, I wonder, is it that cockiness that allows them to get the results that they
Hmm.
actually want?
Well, that's
Uh,
what are they thinking? What are their thoughts?
exactly. And, the reality is, if I'm being triggered by their cockiness, I just need to then step back and watch my thoughts there about, well, why is it that I'm feeling triggered from that?
Yeah.
Really, if they want to have that belief and it gets results and they're helping people, maybe I should just shut up and learn from it.
Yeah. What are they doing? And ask them what are they thinking?
Mhm.
What's their thoughts when they're working with someone? What's their thoughts when they're putting someone in trance?
I think when you ask a question like, "What are you thinking?" it could be taken as so many different ways. I
Okay,
noticed you're really cocky online. Well, I
yeah.
have to ask you, what are
What
you
are you
thinking?
thinking? What are you thinking?
If anyone's
But it
watching
is.
this and I ask you, what are you thinking? You know why now.
Yeah. What do you
Compliment.
think?
It's
But it,
actually a compliment.
yeah, but it is because if you let's go back a little bit. If you that doubt comes in,
Mm,
you said that's what you were thinking when we were doing the sushi train at Rowan's training. If that's what came in, that stopped you.
mm. It did. It absolutely did. Because and then there was, as I said before, that spotlight.
Yeah,
Because now not only had it not worked that first time, but now there was a spotlight and a pressure for it to work after that.
yeah,
And it just spiraled down from that.
yeah,
Uh, so I thought, well, that's why this is such a valuable conversation to have, because I know I'm not alone in that
yeah,
experience.
yeah,
And it was interesting also that training, because I could see that there were some people who, again, were not having as much success, but some people were playing along.
yeah,
And I was grateful for the fact that I got to you and like, no, your intention's not set, and I'm going to say it. It's like, oh, good, because the only way we're going to be able to learn and grow from this is when we sometimes explore these topics and reflect and
yeah.
get a better understanding of it. One last question for you: what does the future have in store for Sara Herring?
Well, the future. Oh, the
Mm-hmm.
universe gonna give me
Because
this time.
you've been you're a successful trainer. You're a successful presenter at conferences as well. What's next for you? What else is on the horizon for you?
I am putting these upskilling courses together. That's one thing. And then I've got some mini training courses as well. I'm putting together,
Mm,
which is bringing together the theta brainwave, which is the theta healing side,
mhm.
and the hypnotherapy side. So putting that together.
Well, then the obvious next question, I imagine many people watching this are going to be wondering is, how do they get in touch with you to be involved with these trainings in the future?
Well, you can call me, or you can email me, um, or check out my website.
And I'll make sure that we have links for that around. I
Yep,
always, whenever I talk about links around things, almost like I break into some sort of 70s dance routine. It's like,
you can do that, Lawrence.
I don't know exactly why that is, but my unconscious likes to think that social media is kind of funky by the looks of it. But yes, those links will be around this video or in the metadata for anyone who's downloaded that. Sarah, thank you so much for your time today. It's been
You're welcome.
such a pleasure to have a chat with you and to catch up and to get a better understanding about what this mysterious thing called intention
Intention is,
actually
yep.
is. I could have done a clean reference. There's a crazy little thing called intention. Um, Thank you again. Thank you to everyone for watching. Again, we'll see you all next time. But until then, stay safe.
Thank you.